It's that time, y'all. Time for big boys boxing.
I was gonna rip his heart out. I'm the best ever. I'm the most brutal and vicious and most ruthless champion there's ever been. I'm Sonny Liston. I'm Jack Dempsey. There's no one like me. I'm from Nairclaw. There's no one that can match me.
Kia ora team, and welcome back to Big Boys Boxing. I'm John, your host. So this weekend we had some pretty entertaining heavyweight action. We had a fair few heavyweight fights on the Tyson Fury v Francis Ngannou undercard, and we had the circus fight, which actually turned out to be pretty decent. And of course we had Justice Huni taking on Andrew Tabiti over on that O'Shaquie Foster card in Mexico against Rocky Hernandez. So firstly, Martin Bakole knocks out Carlos Takam in 4 rounds. I had been picking Bakole for a later round, second half of the fight stoppage, maybe 7 or 8 for quite some time. Then I saw the weigh-in and thought, holy shit, Martin Bakole's 300 pounds. And as I alluded to in my live stream last week, one of these days Carlos Takam's going to fall off the age cliff, and he looked real slow in there. So I think that was one of the contributing factors. I actually changed my pick in my little prediction league last minute to Carlos Takam by UD. That was a bad mistake, huh? So yeah, Carlos Takam looked like a midget in there compared to 300-pound Bakole. But Bakole admitted afterwards that he had an injury and couldn't train properly, so he was heavy, but shit, he was more than heavy. Anyways, yeah, he got the referee stoppage in the 4th round after dominating behind a jab, not really biting much on Takam's feints, and old man looked slow, kept getting caught, was getting broken down. It was amazing he didn't actually go down in the end, but he's out of there. Martin Bakole gets the win, 4th round. Next we had upcoming prospect Moses Atuma against this Benath guy. I can't even remember his name. I've seen him before. He's journeyman level. I expected Atuma to maybe take 1 or 2 rounds, possibly 3 to get this dude out of there, but it was over in the 1st round. First big shot that this Benath guy caught, he was toast. You can see he went down, got up on his knees, was counting, he didn't get up, all over. So that was that. Moves on, does Moses Atuma. Next we had Arslanbek Makhmudov, the Beast. He was facing a late replacement in Junior Anthony Wright. He's been a cruiserweight as well. He's a gym rat, and he was a run out. It was late replacement, expected to lose, and I picked Makhmudov in the 1st round. Boom, on the money with that one. Blasted him out. 1 big shot, done. So that was that. Arslanbek Makhmudov moves on. Hopefully next time around we'll get him in against a better opponent, maybe a Martin Bakole. That would have been good on this card, but never mind. So we move on, and Joseph Parker took on Simon Keane. I was originally picking about 4 or 5 rounds, and yeah, I think I was actually picking 5. Was my official pick, but I went and changed that to 4 at the last minute after watching one of Boxing Squared's videos and just being reminded of how clumsy and how not even unorthodox, it's just doing all your shit wrong that Simon Keane does. After the 1st round I was wondering shit, because Parker did actually catch a couple of right hands, made him step back a bit. At one stage he was leaning down and it looked like he got caught with one, and I was like, oh, did he actually get caught there? I think it did catch him, but nothing too bad. It was just how he was moving on the inside at the time. But anyways, he gets a 3rd round stoppage via an uppercut. He hadn't thrown it for the fight. He was throwing the 1-2s, and he was kind of doing a little bit of what he was trying to do against Joyce, not moving as much, trying to plant his feet and look for one big shot. It was okay. It wasn't flash, but then in the 3rd round, he threw a right jab, then a right uppercut, and it caught Keenan. He moved back, and I was like, oh shit, yeah, do that again. It wasn't 15 seconds later, he threw another one, and down went Keen. And he was not fit to continue after that. Those 2 big right uppercuts in a row ended it. So a pretty decent performance for Joseph Parker in the end, but he could look better. In his previous fight against Fainga Apilu, he was quite a bit lighter, and he looked a lot sharper, and his movement looked much more fluid. I'd like to see him back down to the high 230s or early 240s. I think over 245 is too heavy for Joe, and it makes him abandon his best attributes with his athleticism, his speed, and his movement around the ring. I don't like him when he tries to stand and punch as a puncher, because he's not a puncher. But certainly a puncher enough to get Simon Keem out of there in the 3rd round. So that was that one. Joe Parker moves on. And then we had the best real fight on the card between Fabio Wardley and David Adeleye. It was a pretty decent fight. It was always going to be a pretty good fight. But I think Adeleye was actually a little bit surprised. Maybe he thought Fabio Wardley wasn't quite as good as he was. He started out with the jab, did Wardley, and it was quite good. You could see Adeleye was on the back foot trying to be a counter puncher, but I think Fabio's speed kind of gave him a bit of a fright, as well as his power and his technical ability. So it was more like a holy shit, I got to look for one big punch, and that seems to be what he was trying to do for the first kind of 4 rounds. He did land the odd punch here and there, but for me, I don't think there was any round that Wardley didn't win. I think Adeleye just was far too inactive, waiting too long for his opportunities. He kept missing the opportunity to counter, so he'd wait for next time. And he doesn't seem to have much of an offense if he wants to try and catch up in a fight that he's falling behind in. I can't see the dude against someone 6'5" and up. He just doesn't seem to have that ability to be able to put together offense, set things up. He's just sits and waits for one counter punch. Adeleye was getting a little bit street in there at times, elbow in the throat, hitting behind the head when they're in the clinch, hitting on the break after the ref had said break. He did get 1 point taken off for some of his dirty tactics, and it was pretty much about from when that point got taken off, things started going downhill. He looked like he was a bit more in survival mode. Fabio Wardley kept the pressure going. He was there to be hit sometimes when he threw. It's maybe something that Fabio's got to work on, is getting his head off the line when he punches. But he has a habit of standing like at the edge of range where he can be hit, trying to draw a punch and trying to be a bit of a counter puncher while he's aggressive at the same time. But he is getting caught a little bit at the end of range, so depending on who he's fighting, he's not going to be able to do that for the rest of his career. Anyways, it was pretty much downhill from about that 4th round. I think that was when the point got taken off, was at the start of the 5th. But it was kind of survival, and then Wardley caught him with a few good shots, backed him into the corner, went to town. The referee stops the fight. Oh, actually, there was a knockdown there. There was a knockdown. Adeleye got up, beat the count, and they started up again, and then the ref stepped in and stopped it. Adeleye was pretty pissed off, but you could see he wasn't really doing anything. He was trying to fight back after he got up. I think he threw one punch in there, try and show the ref that he was doing something, but the ref still decided to stop it. Maybe it was a little bit soft, maybe it could have gone on a little bit further, but it is what it is. I don't think there was any chance that David was gonna pull off one big punch. He was starting to look pretty slow. His punches looked like they had nothing on them. He'd been broken down. He was ready to go anyway. Not that I'm saying it's right that the ref stopped it, but you know, I'm just pointing out I understand why the ref stopped it. It was over. So that was that. Then we had the main event that I was going to boycott, but then I was planning on leaving the stream up for everyone else watching and on Discord, so started watching a little bit of it. Oh shit, Tyson's not dominating. What? Okay, gave Tyson the first round. Second round, you see Ngannou jabbing to the body and doing a few intelligent things with range, but the biggest thing for me was Ngannou's not falling for any of Tyson Fury's feints. He's either reading it or he ain't scared of getting hit by him because he hits with pillow hands. Oh, look at this. Francis is landing some good jabs, some good little counter right hooks. He's even throwing shots to the body. This is good. Might slow Tyson down a bit. Third round comes along, some more of it continues. But I'd given the second round to Francis. And Tyson thought he'd better start doing something, started throwing his hands a bit more, but kept getting countered. And sure enough, a left hook from Francis Ngannou puts Tyson down on the floor. You could see Tyson wasn't really that hurt on the floor, but he was pissed off with himself, but also looking a bit shocked. It's like, what the fuck am I doing down here? This ain't supposed to be happening. So he kind of got on his bike a bit. Obviously, Francis won that third round, 10-8. The fourth round, Tyson was trying to get back on his jab a bit more. He was throwing the odd 1-2s, but he was throwing a lot of stuff that was actually out of range or just hitting on some guards. There was a few odd right hand getting through now and then, the odd left hook as well. But there was one point, I think it was in the fourth, and it looked like Tyson was going to start to try and get a little bit dirty, a bit rough like he did against Steve Cunningham after going down. But Francis landed a really good right uppercut on the inside. The angle was away from the camera, and Tyson backed up, and that was where he got the cut on his forehead, the first one. It wasn't a headbutt, the first bit. So it did start bleeding a little bit then, and Tyson, went back to his outside game a little bit more there. And he did win some rounds, basically on the jab. I was talking to Hannibal during the stream, saying, look, he comes out, lands a couple of jabs, a quick right hand or something, and then backs off and pretty much waits from there. It's smart if he's worried about engaging and getting caught like that. It's smart to do that. You're ahead in the round. You don't have to do anything. The other person's got to force to try and get the round back. So that gives you the opportunity to box from the outside and counter. Until they do get that back, you can keep cruising on the outside. So the next, I think round 4 was pretty close. I think I gave it to Ngannou, but could have gone the other way. Rounds 5 and 6 and 7, I gave all to Fury. So he had 1, 5, 6 and 7 definitelys. Round 8 was a big round for Francis. Looked like he was actually trying to go for it. He landed a fair few shots in the round. Tyson decided to pretty much give the round away halfway through by the looks of it, and tried to hope that maybe Francis would gas out, putting on this barrage. So Francis won that round, didn't do too bad. I think Tyson won the 9th and the 10th though. So, and they were very boring rounds, the last 2 rounds. It was a little bit weird that in the 10th, Francis didn't throw caution to the wind, see what he could do. Just in case, because, Fury was supposed to win. If Fury loses, it's not good for boxing. It's not good for the future for Undisputed and all that kind of jazz. So the favour with the judges, if there was going to be any, was always going to be with Tyson. So yeah, it was a little bit odd to me that Francis didn't go balls to the wall and try get at least another knockdown and try and make sure of the fight. But it didn't happen. It was really weird though. It's like a gentleman's agreement in the last round or some shit, I don't know. So, what's that? Round 2, round 4, and round 8 is 3 10-9 rounds plus a 10-8 round in round 4. I think that still gives it to Francis on 1 point for me, but like I say, that 4th round could have gone either way. Round 2 could have even gone either way as well, I thought maybe. So I'm not upset that Tyson got the win. I wouldn't have been upset if Francis had got the win, but I may have been a little bit disappointed that it's going to mess with the potential undisputed later on this year or the start of next. So it is what it is. Tyson got the win. He scraped out of jail, but as a champion, a debutant, taking you to a split decision and putting you on your wallet. It looks like a L to me, a big fat one. And that was that. So, and the final one was Justice Hooney v Andrew Tabiti. I thought this could be an interesting fight. It's a bit of a step up for Justice Hooney, and it's the first fight outside of his home country. Andrew Tabiti, most people don't really know what he's been up to. I had to look into BoxRec myself. I hadn't heard of anything that he was doing since he got knocked out by Yanir Dorticus in the WBSS years ago. The cruiserweight one that Alexander Usyk won. So, no, I just thought it'd be interesting. It was at heavyweight, both kind of smaller heavyweights. Justice isn't that small, he's like average size, just a bit lighter. Both of them very athletic and fast, and it was pretty much a end-to-end shutout from Justice. Showed his punch variety, showed his footwork, his speed, punches and bunches, and he also showed his lack of power. So there you go. Not to say he can't knock people out, he's like an accumulator. He can stop people for sure. So he moves on to 8-0. Let's see where Justice goes next. So that's my weekend wrap up. Let us know your thoughts of any or all of the fights that we spoke about, and I'll catch you in the next one. I'm Jono from Big Boys Boxing, and I'm out of here. See you.